Welcome to Coach Hayes Football Live. He can talk about anything from high school to the pros. This guy knows the game, so you better not be half-stepping.
I can guarantee you most of the audience is going to agree with me before they agree with you.
Strap in, because Coach Hayes is about to
crack your cranium and fertilize your brain. Go ahead and right here, right now.
Subscribe now and check out CoachHayesFootball.com.
What's up, everybody? We back in the building. I see y'all in the comments section. Man, shout out to Insane DW. What's up with you? Scenario. You're late. No professionalism. Mother, how about this? Take this for professionalism. Show my ass up. Anyway, Mad Skills, as usual. Matter of fact, Mad Skills, here, you get one too. Anybody else want one? Huh? Get in line, because I'm ready for it today. Anybody else want one? Huh? OG Kane, what's up with you, baby? Bama Kane, what it do? What's going on with you? Google Man in the building. What's up with you, baby? How you doing, man? Anyway, we got a lot to talk about, a little bit of time to do it. We'll go ahead and open up the phone lines as usual. We'll talk about these couple of things, but I want to talk today a little bit about the primetime effect. The primetime effect when it comes to coaching. All right, there's a couple of different primetime effects, right? In the building. Fred, what's up? Yo, go ahead. What's good, bro? Hope all is well. Everything is good, man, on this side. And I hope all is well with you as well, man, and the family, Fred. Appreciate you. Angel, he late like Shiloh draft pick. God dang, y'all tough, man. Go ahead, he's on Cuban. It's 8:39. What are y'all talking about, baby? We rocking and rolling. What are you talking about? Oh, gosh. I know. Let's get into it. But anyway, the primetime effect, and I'm talking about the coaching aspect of this deal. And I titled this thing, How Deion Sanders' Influence is Changing Coaching Hires. And I think that's important. That was part of the thing. That was a part of the narratives that a lot of people were preaching when he got the job at Jackson State, then on to Colorado. All right. And here's the deal. On the thumbnail, as you see, I had some prominent figures up there. The latest news in the coaching is Eddie George being hired at Bowling Green. And we'll get into that here in a second. But primetime gets hired in September, I believe, of 2020, right during COVID, for the Jackson State job. But, they played in the spring. They didn't play in the fall. So he got hired in September. I think they played, his first game was in February of 21. Very shortly after that, Tennessee State reaches out and hires Eddie George. So Eddie George was right after that. Now, is that part of the prime effect? I can say so. I can honestly say, yeah, Tennessee State said, hold up, wait a minute. Jackson State doing something, we could do something. And Eddie George talked about this before where, he was a financial advisor. That was his career after playing ball, and that's what he was doing. And he knew the president of Tennessee State, and I think he thought the call was about some financial advisement, in essence. End up being she wanted him to come to the university and become the head coach. So he thought about it. I think he talked about this on Club Shay Shay. And so that's what happened there, okay? Just recently, we've seen some more hires. We saw Willie Simmons leave FAMU, go to Duke to be the running back coach for a year under Manny Diaz, and now is the head coach at FIU, right? So congratulations to Coach Simmons in the building. Then you have Michael Vick becoming the head coach at Norfolk State, an HBCU. For people that don't know, Norfolk State is an HBCU in Norfolk, Virginia. Then Deshaun Jackson becomes the head coach at Delaware State in Delaware. All right. And again, let's go back a little bit. Is it a kind of a copycat league? If you look at it, I guess Coach Prime, well, outside of Willie Simmons, who had been coaching for some time, but outside of Coach Prime, who had only been coaching high school ball up to that point to going to Jackson State, was the only one with some, I would say, significant coaching experience. Taking nothing away from what they've done on the football field, but we're talking about from the coaching aspect, from the headset aspect. So Michael Vick gets the job at Norfolk State. For people who don't know, he's from Newport News. It's right on the other side of the bridge, or the tunnel, actually. I went to school in Hampton, as you all can see, my beloved HBCU. And Norfolk State is one of our rivals, but so they don't do bridges. They have tunnels, actually. So a tunnel under the ocean. And right there in Newport News, a.k.a. Bad News. So hometown kid, right down the street. No big deal. And everybody knows who Michael Vick is. I mean, exciting wide receiver. Exciting quarterback in the NFL, electrifying arm, electrifying legs, got in some trouble with some dogs, overcame that, did a lot of good things. Then Deshaun Jackson, of course, goes to Delaware State, all right, as the head coach. And I believe he also picked up Clinton Portis. Deshaun Jackson picked up Clinton Portis as his running back coach as well. So, here's what I'll say. Now Eddie George does his stint at Tennessee State, gets coach of the year, taking them to a 9-4 record, coming back from the combine, the NFL combine in Indianapolis, gets a call from Urban Meyer, right? Ohio State coach, Florida coach, considered one of the great coaches of college football, and says, hey, are you interested in the Bowling Green job? Okay, makes it happen. Takes the job at Bowling Green relatively late. We're in March right now, middle of March, but takes the job relatively late at Bowling Green. And now he's the head coach there. So I say all that to say, Juan, you crazy. I'll leave that alone. So I say all that to say, is this part of the prime effect? Is this the new wave in coaching? Are we seeing, I don't want to call it celebrity coaches, but NFL player coaches with very little coaching experience? Again, this is not a knock. I'm just calling it what it is. Very little coaching experience, but taking head coach position jobs, in essence, kind of skipping the line, right? Not going through the average thing of the GA, the position coach, the quality control, the coordinator, then become a head coach. Well, I'll say this. When you look at the jobs these guys are getting and taking, I totally understand it, right? It's very similar to Coach Prime's approach when he went to Jackson State, Jackson State didn't have anything to lose. We all know Coach Prime went out, and I believe Florida State was on the radar, Auburn, Arkansas, so forth, and they all kind of turned him down. Goes to Jackson State, cuts his teeth, and kind of proves I can coach, right? Turns Jackson State around. Then he goes to Colorado, Power 5 program, but let's call it what it is, bottom of the barrel program. What does Colorado have to lose? The AD Rick George says, look, this program is terrible. What we got to lose? Prime, I know you're going to bring the folks. I know you're going to bring the people. Huh? You got the aunties, the CU aunties. You got the Colorado people. You got people who ain't never watched college football. All that's great. Okay? First year, yeah. Second year, pops off 9 games. Excellent. All right? And then now going on, he got a Heisman Trophy winner under his belt already as a college coach and everything else. So, and definitely going to have, I'll just say within the top two top 10 picks this draft. I'm not saying first, second, or third. I ain't getting into that. But definitely should have 2 top 10 picks in this draft coming up here in 25. So the proof of concept, in essence, is showing that it works, right? In essence. Now, the major colleges, they ain't jumping ship just yet. They still sitting back watching like, I don't know if this is the thing to do. But some of the other programs, the HBCU programs, right, they saying, look here, it worked for Jackson State. Why can't it work for Norfolk State? Why can't it work for Delaware State? Right? And also shout out to Terrell Buckley, who's got the head coach job at Mississippi Valley, but he's been in the coaching realm for a while now. So all good. So I say all that to say, I think a lot of these came from left field. I think that Deshaun Jackson And Michael Vick was like, huh? What? Okay. All right. We're going to find out. This is their first year getting into it and to see what's going on. So we definitely got to find out what's going on when it comes to them. I'm going to open up the phone line now, 862-799-9956. You can go ahead and call in and start building up the queue. And I want to talk about this. Do you believe that Coach Prime is the reason these guys are getting the job or not? Who knows? I don't know. I think so. I think it's a copycat league in that sense. If it worked for you, why won't it work for me? And if it doesn't work, we still right where we were. No big deal. It is what it is. All right, no big deal. Will Michael Vick, will Deshaun Jackson have the opportunity? Will Eddie George have the opportunity to draw in some maybe bigger talent than they're normally getting at these schools? Probably so. We'll find out. And we'll see who they surround themselves with. However, Willie Simmons, who has proven to be a very good coach at FAMU, gets the job at FIU. And for those that don't know, I worked at FIU under Mario Cristobal. And I'll say this, as honest as I can give it, and I haven't been there over 10 years now. FIU is a gold mine. But I don't think FIU is piling resources into the program. FIU sits in the city of Miami, in the Mecca. Every kid can't go major. The city of Miami, West Palm Beach, Broward County, Orlando, this area, Jackson, there's so much talent in the state of Florida. There's no reason FIU should not be dominating the G5 league. They still in Conference USA, Sun Belt, whatever it is. They should be conference champions every year. It doesn't make sense that FIU is not on the leaderboard when it comes to recruiting guys, particularly at that particular level and everything else. What's funny about FIU, speaking of Willie Simmons, when I was there, it seemed like every team we played, the other team's best players came from South Florida. Every team we played UCF, they had Jeffrey Godfrey, right? Coming right out of Miami Central and a bunch of others. Jose out of Central Florida. McDuffie coming out of the West. Perryman coming out of the West, playing at Central Florida. Hell, we played Marshall in West Virginia. Their quarterback was from Miami. Tommy Shula. Shout out to Tommy Shula. I believe he's a coordinator now at Central, if I'm not mistaken. Tommy Shula, right out of Miami, went all the way to West Virginia to come back to FIU to whip FIU's butt. So I'm saying all this to say, once FIU jumps on board and starts funneling money into the program to help it, it could be a powerhouse. It's literally sitting in the mecca of football recruiting. They also have, I want to say FIU may be the third, fourth, maybe even the fifth largest school in the nation. I want to say they got 70,000 students, something like that. 75,000 students. 75,000 students. And the games are empty. Empty. Only time I remember going to a FIU Rutgers game. It was before I was coaching them. It was more people from Rutgers there, representing than FIU. And that's crazy. So I'm saying all that to say, Willie Simmons, with his coaching background, is going to do a good job from the coaching aspect. Can he turn into a powerhouse? I don't know. Because it comes down to what the administration wants to do and how they want to funnel that program. I'm bringing that up. So, Norfolk State. Now, if you follow me, Genario, instead of trying to drive the car when you in the back of the Uber, Norfolk State is another hotbed area. Virginia has a ton of talent. That Tidewater area, a ton of talent has come out of that area. Hampton, I don't know if Hampton High School is still firing off, but they were the Hampton Crabbers. That's when they had way back Ronald Curry and so forth and so. I mean, it was a ton of talent in that Virginia Beach area, Norfolk, all of that. Still can funnel on down to North Carolina. You can work up to Northern Virginia. They call it Nova, the DMV area, DC, Maryland, a ton of talent. And then Delaware State is not far, right? If you know your geography, Genario, Delaware is right there by Maryland. It's a ton of talent in that area. Can Deshaun do that? Hopefully so. Hopefully they can turn that thing around, make it exciting. Now, and then Eddie George at Bowling Green. I can't speak to Bowling Green's recruiting prowess. I don't know. But again, I know Ohio has very good talent. Ohio has some very good talent. Very, very good talent. So if he can get those guys from there, Bowling Green is a program people will go to. I don't see why he can't be successful. All right. So I say all these things to say none of these jobs are excellent jobs by no stretch of the imagination, but they have potential through the roof. Historically, I don't know if any of these jobs are excellent jobs, right? And I always talk about as coaches, sometimes our coaches, we don't get the best opportunity. Like we're not like the Billy Napier who goes from ULM to Florida, right? Even Coach Prime, he doesn't go from Jackson State to Auburn, to Arkansas, to Florida State. He goes to Colorado. Willie Simmons, killing it at FAM, killing it. Goes to FIU. No knock on FIU, but until FIU, like I said, decides to put their money where their mouth is what it is. I hate to say that. We literally saw coaching greatness go there and not do much. Butch Davis. Butch Davis coached at FIU. Yeah, Miami Hurricane, Butch Davis. Coached at FIU. Let me see FIU record. What they had. And I'm just talking. So you don't like it? Tough. Butch Davis, first year was 8-5, 9-4, 6-7, 0-5, 1-11. In the existence of the school, I'm looking at all the way from Don Strock in 2005. Butch Davis has the best record so far at 9-4. That school has never won 10 games. Never won 10 games. And the entire school is 2-2 when it comes to bowl records. Wow. Cristobal won the Little Caesar Bowl. Lost the Brief O'Brady Bowl. Butch Davis lost the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Won the Bahamas Bowl. And lost the Camellia Bowl. So I'm just telling you, it's not an easy climb for Willie Simmons. Not saying he can't do it, but he's definitely going to need the backing of boosters, alumni, administration, board of trustees, whatever they got there, AD, whatever. So with all that being said, like I said, that's what it is right here, 862-799-9956. Genario, since you're doing all that talking, is this Gerald D? You change your name? I miss you. If this Gerald D, I miss you. Genario, don't matter, I miss you too. Why don't you call in? Let's chop it up and talk. Let me look at some of these questions right here. What do you think? Speaking of questions, go great. Do you think Hall of Fame Ed Reed will join Colorado? I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if he did. I would not be shocked if tomorrow, Ed Reed joins Colorado as whatever. I get it. Totally understand that. No problem. Let me see here. Juan Manuel, Coach Hayes, if you are not immersed, focused, and dedicated as a coach teacher, it will not be successful long term. That term coach is earned. That's fair. Nothing wrong with that statement. FIU they have their own stadium right there on campus. Literally everything happens right there. They practice in the stadium, right? On the stadium turf, all of that. Everything's right there. All right. Winners look at challenges as opportunities. All right. I hear you. So with that being said, then, Janario, if winners look at opportunity, then why do coaches always leave to go to get a better job? Why did Kalen DeBoer leave Washington to go to Alabama? Huh? Why he didn't accept that challenge, my man? I'm just saying. You don't ever see the national championship coach saying, I really want a challenge. Let me go to Colorado. Huh? Come on, man. Get out of here with that foolishness. All right, 862-799-9956. Janario, what coach recently hired will have the most success in year one? Thank you, man. Now we have a sensible conversation here, Janario. Golly. That's an excellent question. I'm going to go on a limb, and I'm going to say Michael Vick, in my opinion, could have the most success because, and I'm maybe a little biased here because I know the area. I know the teams they play. But at Norfolk State, and he's a hometown hero, not only the fact that he is Michael Vick, but he's Michael Vick in his hometown, right? That would be like the equivalent of putting Deion Sanders at Central Florida, right? He's from Fort Myers, which is what, hour and a half, maybe 2 hours down the road, in your hometown, in your home state. So I see your question. I'll raise your question, Michael Vick. I think Michael Vick can probably have the faster turnaround. I don't know. Delaware State always been tough gig, man. Seems that they've always had a tough gig. But I think Michael Vick could be the one out of those four coaches, Willie Simmons, Eddie George, Michael Vick, and Deshaun Jackson. I think Michael Vick could do it. Juan Mayo. Now Eddie George earned his coaching certification. Yes. He's been doing it, what, now 4 years? Going into year, 4 years. So, yeah, I mean, these guys earned it. They made it happen. And shout out to Urban Meyer. Shout out to Urban Meyer, right? Urban Meyer said, hey, man, you want a job? Because a lot of people don't know Urban Meyer coached at Bowling Green. He was the head coach at Bowling Green, I think, for 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe he still has some ties. But I guess my real question is, do these guys get the job if Coach Prime never stepped foot into college coaching? My second question is, do these guys even think about coaching if Coach Prime never steps foot into college coaching? That's the question. Does Michael Vick think about getting into coaching, or does he even get the call? Does Deshaun Jackson get the call? Does Eddie George get the call from the Tennessee State president to come coach her football program? Willie Simmons, of course, he was already in the coaching, but we'll see. Reggie says, yep, because of the success of the Syracuse coach, Fran Brown. Hell, did Fran Brown get his job because of Coach Prime? I don't think Fran Brown, in my opinion, I don't think Fran Brown got the job because of Coach Prime. I think Syracuse was in a position, again, not a great job in essence, hard recruiting, right? Talking about upstate New York. We're not talking about New York City, huh? In New York, concrete in the we made. Nah, that ain't that kind of New York. We're talking about upstate New York. It's a lot different. I think it was a job, again, a guy that wasn't a coordinator. I think he was just a defensive back coach at that time, coming out of Georgia, and he worked his way and he went up the coaching ranks, right? And they said, who's a young, fiery guy that we can get his job to, blah, blah, blah. And they probably had a search party, a search firm, look for somebody. And a lot of people probably turned that job down. Now, it's not an easy job. May not also be a great job. Let me see what they were. I remember Dino Babers was there. Sean Lewis was there. As the OC, they tried to come recruit some players I had. Let me see. And Dino Babers didn't do a bad of a job. But let's just look at this. Let's just go. See, when I talk about tough jobs, I'm going to just rattle some numbers off to y'all. 2005, I'm going to spit through these relatively quick. 1-10, 4-8, 2-10, 3-9, 4-8, 8-5, 5-7, 8-5, 7-6, 3-9, 4-8, 4-8, 4-8. Dino Babers, 10-3, 5-7, 1-10, 5-7, 7-6, 5-6. And then Fran Brown comes in, breath of fresh air, goes 10-3 first year. First time head coach, first year head coach, drops a dime on him. So since 2005, in the past 20 years, they won 10 games one time under Dino Babers. And then now Fran Brown's first year. That's important, right? They took a gamble and it worked out for them, right? And they took a gamble and it worked out for them. Okay, makes sense too. Fran Brown from New Jersey, so it made sense, yeah. But New Jeru's way different than Syracuse. Golly, I don't know if y'all been to Syracuse before. Yeah. It's tough work. Brown had the best QB since he's had during that stretch. Yeah. I think the best quarterback they've had since then was Donovan Edwards. Bro, since Donovan Edwards maybe was the best quarterback they had since then. Syracuse is 25 minutes from me. Juan Manuel. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down about Syracuse in the area. Just let me know. So far as when it comes to college football and the recruiting, not on the campus, but I'm just talking about, you know what I'm saying. Talk to me. Let me know. Coach Hayes, Prime is not a pioneer of black coaching. Eddie Robinson was. What about Mike Tomlin? It's never been about who want to be a coach. It's what college presidents would hire them is the question. I agree with that, Juan, but I think it's an apples and oranges argument. I think nobody's, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but I don't think anybody's saying Coach Prime is the pioneer of black coaching. But I think he is the pioneer of guys not coaching, becoming head coaches. Now, there's the difference. He's not the pioneer of black coaches, but he's the pioneer of getting black coaches to skip the line, which black coaches have not been able to skip the line. When black coaches have put in a lot of time and don't get the same opportunities. Where you look at a guy like Sharon Moore at Michigan, coaching 17 years, and finally gets a job. And when he gets it, they don't even want to give him a doggone contract. That's what I think this is more about. Not necessarily, in essence, the black coach No, you're right, Eddie Robinson. And you're all 100% right. But I think the prime effect is getting guys to skip the line, right? Having guys come in and use their football celebrity and go straight to the head coach spot. That's the difference. That's what the prime effect is, more or less. Think about it. I mean, again, outside of Willie Simmons, Eddie George was a financial advisor, head coach. Mike Vick, retired football player, probably has some other business ventures, head coach. Deshaun Jackson, retired, was doing a podcast, did some other coaching. I think he coached at a high school here and there, but I don't think he was the head coach of a college. So I think that's the difference. Oh my God, Neckbone. Boy, you got to call in, Neckbone, boy. I heard your show with you and Alpha Roo. Somebody was doing some cooking in that thing, baby. Somebody was doing some cooking. Shout out to Neckbone in the building. Neckbone Takes. Y'all go check him out. He got a channel. He got a channel. He be out there making it happen as well, man. So y'all go give him some love. All right. Oh, here we go. Question. I like the fact you say question. But the question mark at the end, Genario, lets me know it's a question. And also you started it with a who, what, when, and where. So you don't have to type question, but I get it. Question. Who will be the next celebrity coach taking advantage of the media and hire their own Bucky to always control the narrative? Huh? Here's what I'll say. The easy answer is I don't know. But I will say this. What Coach Prime and what Bucky did, excellent. That's how you get your program out there. I get it. Whatever. Cool. But I will say, nobody may not have done it like they've done it, but there are programs that have done these things, right? Not taking anything away from Bucky and what they've done and posting every day and showing the inside. Nothing like that. But Miami even had something that was called Kane's All Access. There are teams that have done it, but it may not have gotten the notoriety like Coach Prime because Coach Prime. Just like when a lot of people who are not following football thought that, again, this is no knock. I just want people to understand, just because y'all see Coach Prime has done something, which is great, but it doesn't mean he was the first one to do it. It was just your first time seeing it. Perfect example. The Twitter handles on the back of the jerseys. Not taking anything away from it, but if you are not a person who watched college football, followed college football, and so forth, you would not know that UCF did it first. It's not hate. It's just trying to educate you, but y'all take that as hate. You have to say, well, no, that's a great thing. But to correct you and say, well, y'all, Prime took it. He's supposed to do that. But he wasn't the first to do it. UCF was the first ones to put that on there. Just like the military thing. Oh, my God, Coach Prime, the first one to have the military come. No, guys, he wasn't. Can I tell you, I was actually doing that in high school. I had the military people come. They carry the canteen, the Army, the Army ammo cans. They carry the logs. They do the pull-up all with the Marine. A lot of teams do these things. It's just not publicized. So because it's your first time seeing it, doesn't mean it was the first time it happened. All right? Again, this is no knock to Coach Prime. But for all the members out there, I just call you guys members. People get offended when I call you cult members. LV, see how I slipped that in there? Y'all think it's the first time? No, it's your first time cutting on the television. Right? It's the first time you cut on the TV and you saw it, so you think, oh, it's the first time. No, it's not. Right? And that's just what it is. No. I mean, a lot of people, like I said, hell, Michigan was sending its quarterbacks to California to train with the Navy SEALs. Huh? Just the quarterbacks. Just sending the quarterbacks to California to train with the Navy SEALs to teach them leadership skills. But it's not televised. The revolution will not be televised, as they say. But because Prime put it on tape, which is excellent, I keep saying this, doesn't mean it was the first. Maybe the first one to put it on tape. Well-off media is well-off media. Excellent. No knock to them. They did it. And they did it bigger, better, and more often and more consistently. But like I said, Miami had one called Kane's All Access. And they showed behind the scenes, a guy with the camera, right? What it is. That's it. No big deal. Not a big deal. Neckbone, where you at, man? Better call on in here, man. I got to talk to you about your episode. Plus, I want to hear your thoughts on the Prime effect when it comes to these coaches being hired. I really would do. I want to hear that. TB Trucking, what's up with you? It says facts. Let me fax them about, but Reggie. I ain't gonna read that one. I'm not reading that one, Reggie. Not doing it. Rand says Florida State did it too. They had a special on HBO for a season long. Yeah. I get it. It's kind of like the version of Hard Knocks, right? But they do it throughout the season. I mean, I'll give Bucky and them their credit, man. They it's like 3M. They took your product and made it better. Nothing wrong with that. This statement. Bucky wasn't the first, but the best. Okay. All right. I'll give you that one. Genario. Y'all remember this comedian named Denario? Y'all don't know about no Denario. Wasn't it? No, Jamario. That's what I'm going to call you. You don't know about no Genario. I don't know if y'all remember that. I don't know if that dude passed away or not. But anyway. LV. LMV. Y'all clap it up for LMV. That's my girl. Right? Wolfing? You can at least put a wave cap on it. God the mighty. LMV, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner, LMV, 10 minutes. Hey, no, they having too much fun in the chat right now. I wish somebody would call in 862-799-9956. Y'all tripping. Y'all tripping in the chat, boy. Lot of mercy. You can tell when it's the off season too. Nobody want to call in and nobody want to talk no more, whatever. Paradise Hills Farm in the building. All right. That a turkey. Is that a turkey with a weed tail? That's all right. Hey, I'm Max in the building. What's up with you, baby? Since y'all want to be all up in my business. Coach T, what we gonna do with him? What we gonna do with them, Coach T? Ain't too much in here. But anyway. Sylvester Croom, coach at Mississippi. Shout out to Sylvester Croom in the building, man. That's true, though. Coach Strong, Louisville, Texas, brought SEC Barrett. Yep. Nope. Sylvester Croom, shout out to you, Mr. Overdo. He sure did. He beat Charlie Strong to it. He said, let him live, coach. Shout out to Ella MV. That woof. Got that Murray's on that thing, huh? Fried, died, and laid to the side. I ain't mad at you. Anyway, man, let me get this thing going, man. Let's talk some ball in here, man. Also, here's an interesting point. A big clip that came out with Coach Prime talking to Shiloh. Man, he be doing Shiloh wrong, man. I don't care what nobody say, man. God dang, man. He told Shiloh if he ran a 4.5 or 4.4, he'd buy him a car. God dang. Oh, man. Come on, man. Told him, man, he ran a 4.2 for breakfast. But this is why I actually like Shiloh. Shiloh be giving him the business. He said, it ain't no tape. He said, I seen the moon landing. But he said, I seen Malcolm X before. I ain't see you run. I ain't see ain't no tape of you running the 40. That's actually funny. But I think Prime be doing Shiloh wrong, man. I know Shiloh might be a headache. Maybe not. I don't know. He be doing my dog dirty, man. I'm rooting for Shiloh, man. I'm really rooting for Shiloh. Here's what's funny. I'm going to ask a question. If Shiloh run a 4.5, and Jimmy ran a 4.46, Shiloh really that slow? Yeah, nah. 4.5 tough, boy. If he run a 4.5, I don't know. It'd be very interesting, man. It'd be very interesting. Come on, Juan. Why you hating on the man? Shiloh would barely run a 4.6. Y'all hate me. Y'all tough, boy. Y'all tough on these shorties, boy. Y'all tough on them, man. Bankrupt. What are you talking about? Man? See, Juan, I thought you were more grown in this, man. Why? What difference do it make? Who cares? Let's say he is bankrupt. So what? What that got to do with playing football, Juan? See, y'all just be trying to find anything to poke. So what? Like, y'all, that ain't got nothing to do with football. That's why Stephen A. got checked over there by LeBron. He wasn't talking about LeBron. I mean, he wasn't talking about Bron. He was talking about LeBron. Well, guess what Stephen A. did when that big dude walked up on him? Yes, sir. Okay. Okay. Can I sit down now, please, sir? But when he be on TV talking real tough, different when that grown man walk up on you. He ain't want none of that smoke. See, I had a conversation about that since we talking about saying nobody calling in. I believe if I say something publicly, it's okay to address it publicly. If I say something in private, then you should not address it in the public. Address it with me privately because I addressed it with you privately, and vice versa. If somebody was to call me on the phone and say something, and I come on here, that's wrong. But if somebody, and I've actually had this happen, somebody did something to me, in essence, publicly, I could have addressed it with them on the phone, but why? They tried me publicly, I'm about to try them publicly. I don't see anything wrong with that. Now, my problem is, like, for example, how the 50 cents go, you out here sharing text messages. That's a private moment, but you putting it in the public. To me, that's bull crap. But when that grown man walked up on Stephen A. Smith, you heard him. I would like to address. I'm sorry, hold up. Stephen A. right here. I would like to address the confrontation between me and LeBron. And, you know, I'm not going to say what he said, but, you know, the guy didn't approach me as a basketball player. He approached me as a father. Right? Get that crap out of here. Yeah, yes, LeBron. Now, here's what I will say about that. Sometimes the thing that we see, in essence, that sets something off is not really what set it off. It's just the straw that broke the camel's back. It's probably a culmination of all of that stuff. It's probably a culmination of everything. And then when you got to my son, whether you didn't intend to say anything about him, you were talking to me, it didn't matter. At that point, I'm ready to pop off. And I think that's what people are missing the point. Most times when people pop off, it's not because of what was said that particular moment. It's a culmination of things. You talked about me last week. You talked about me 2 weeks before that. You said something, and I kept letting it slide, and now the avalanche is here. That's my thing. That's usually what happens. It's not that one instance. It's the 19 other instances prior to that, and it's like enough is enough. That's why I'm looking at it. Coach Hayes, does LeBron take that same approach if that's Shaq or Barkley? I don't know. I'm not LeBron. But if Shaq or Barkley say something and he don't approach him like that, then I'll be on here saying the same thing. LeBron, why you ain't say nothing? Here go LeBron. Well, I don't want to say nothing. I'll be on here talking about him too. As they say, keep the same energy. Nope says he was talking bold on Gilbert Arenas' podcast just today, actually saying he don't give a damn. See, that's poking the bear now. Keyboard warriors, huh? Microphone misfit. Because if he didn't give a damn, he should have said that right then. When LeBron walked up on him, man, stop talking about, man, I don't give a damn what you got to say. He ain't say that right there. See, and the only reason I'm saying that, I'm not, as they say, I'm not condoning the violence. But don't be the tough guy behind the microphone, and then when it's in your face, I'm not saying they should have come to blows. That's not what I'm saying at all. But don't stand there like this. Yes, sir. Yes. And then when you walk away, like Debo, when he leave, I'll be talking again. I guess that's all I'm saying. Coach T said LeBron never ran up on Skip Bayless. That's true. I don't think LeBron would have ran up on Stephen A. Smith either. I just think they happened to be in the same place at the same time at the moment when everything was brewing. Well, the opportunity met, and it's what it was. P-Load, Stephen A just posted an unfiltered version and said it was some week A bull crap. Lou, what's up with you, baby? He said, oh, Magic. Magic said the same thing. Okay. So back to what I was saying, Lou. I can agree with you. I'm not defending it. Maybe LeBron picking on the little man. Fine. But I believe it's all of it that stacks up, stack. I don't know how often Magic Johnson talks about Bronny, but maybe that's Magic's first shot. If this was Stephen A. Smith's first shot. But it's kind of like, remember when Chris Bosh, first time Skip Bayless called him Bosh Spice? He didn't really trip. Then it's a thing now. So at some point I got to address it. Right? I think that could be the situation, Lou, in my opinion. Or Bron could just be like, I'm just going to pick on the little dude because I know he ain't going to do nothing. I don't know if you want to get into a fight with Magic. I'm going to leave that right there. Not to shoot Stephen A. any bail, but I think he was still in the mix of negotiating his ESPN deal. Now that the deal is done, now he can talk record. No. I don't know. You still can say what you had to say. Like I said, all you had to do was simply say, my bad, Panama Junior. Y'all, you caught that? All Steven had to do was say, hey, Bron, I don't care what you got to say, man. I report the news. But instead he, okay. I ain't say he had to go push the man. He was protecting that $100 million investment. Nah. If LeBron would have punched him in the face, he would have had $100 million plus more. I got to sit in the corner. My bad, Panama. My bad. But let me ask you this, Panama. Would you get in a fight with him? Not me. Okay, hold up. We got a fish on the line, baby. We got a caller. We got us a caller, y'all. Y'all clap it up for the caller in the building. That place say nope. Happy New Year, man. I don't think I talked to you since the New Year started. Happy New Year, Shottown Kane in the building. What's up, baby?
Happy New Year, Coach. How you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you feeling, man?
Good. Finally got some good weather up here in Chicago.
It was a little nippy this morning. It was like 55 this morning where I'm at, man. Shivering me timbers.
That was the high today. So we were out there in some shorts, t-shirts. Right now it's about a smooth 46.
Nah, man, I had my North Face jacket on today at 55 degrees. I ain't having it. Bundle me up, son.
That's warm, Coach.
Bundle me up, Joe. Isn't that what they say in Chicago? Bundle me up, Joe.
I don't know. It depends on the neighborhood. Not up here, though.
All right. So talk to me, man. What's your thoughts on all these coaches being hired? Is this part of the prime effect? Eddie George just getting the job at Bowling Green. We see Deshaun Jackson at Dell State. We see Michael Vick at Norfolk State. And we see, of course, Willie Simmons. I think, I may be wrong, but I don't believe I'm wrong on this. I believe, well, he came from Duke. But I don't think we've ever seen a coach except the white dude that came from Alcorn State and went to Southern Miss. I don't think we ever, and Coach Prime, of course, ever seen another coach come from an HBCU and go to a Division I college.
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know if he came from Duke, but this is definitely the prime effect though. But
Okay.
the problem is a lot of teams, think these coaches are going to be able to bring in a Travis Hunter or has a kid like Shador, just waiting in the wings. And I don't know, like I feel like a lot of these schools are trying to get their names out there. Like, it's a good brand move. And, that's the name of the game right now. You got to get your name out there. You got to bring money into the program. So, if that's what schools are doing now, that's just what they're doing. So that's definitely the prime effect, though.
So let me ask you this, Sha. FAMU always says this, often imitated but never duplicated. Can anybody duplicate what Coach Prime has done? No, let me go back. That's not fair. I think people can duplicate what he's done. Can anybody duplicate Coach Prime effect?
Maybe, but it won't be right now. Like, when the old folks used to say that there would never be a greater coach than Paul Bear Bryant, and then Nick Saban came in and did it better. We may not see another prime effect for a while, but I don't think it's impossible. I think another player could do it and possibly, do it better. But for right now, to probably get another one this soon, I don't think so.
Okay.
That's not once in a lifetime, but that's really hard to do. Like, how hard is it, do you think, to have a Hall of Fame caliber, probably, best of his position of all time, coach high school, work his way up, go to a HBCU, get the number one recruit in the nation to go to the HBCU, transfer to a P5, now P4 college, had the team at least go to, I think, like, what was it, 3 bowls? I don't know how many years he was at college. I think he's on there too. So,
well, they went to one bowl last year.
Seasons.
No, they went to one bowl last year.
Yeah, and like that's hard. That's a hard ask. First of all, getting the number one recruit in America to go to HBCU, that's damn near impossible. But I don't know. Like, I think it can happen, but it won't be right now. It won't be that soon.
I think you're 100% accurate and 100% fair with what you're saying. Shot, because I think the problem is, I think there are other people that can do what Prime has done in regards on the football field, right? With so far as a record. Yeah. I think Eddie George could definitely do it. Hell, he's proven he can do it. He won 9 games last year too, right?
Yeah.
To a different level, but he won 9 games. I'm just saying, so he could do, I could definitely see it translating and he could do it as well. But
yeah,
I don't think there's another person that can garner the media attention. There's not another person that can create this wave of new fans that's coming to a college football game that doesn't watch college football. I don't think there's another person that can create like the CU aunties, as they call it. They don't even watch it. They watching it because it's Coach Prime. Like you said, he had the reality show. I didn't even know he had a reality show. So you have some of these ladies that have been following him since the reality show. So they've been fans of him outside of football, but who he is as a person, as a man, as a husband, as a father. And then that group of people carry it over into this as well. So
yeah,
I don't think this will ever be duplicated. Definitely will be imitated, but I don't think it'll ever be duplicated on that part. Now, what he did on the football field, I think most definitely can be duplicated, replicated. It could be exceeded by all stretch of the imagination. But I don't think there's another person that can generate the fanfare and all of the stuff he's done in these past, basically 4 years of coaching.
Yeah, no, people forget Primetime was a trendsetter. When football players started wearing these chains and everything, that was Prime. demanded the amount of money that he did, demanded the amount of, attention he garnered. Like, that's a lot, so that's a lot. Hold on, coach. Hold on.
Shout out to Shottown, put the host on hold so you can talk to his booth thing. All right. So real quick, Pilo, I think Ray Lewis could potentially be the next to do it. I hate to say this, Pilo. I don't even know if Ray Lewis will garner this much attention. Now, in the football, so far from the football fans piece, yes. But I don't know if Ray Lewis got the aunties. I don't know if Ray, like, of course everybody's gonna watch, if whatever. But I don't even know if Ray Lewis, how do I say this? I don't think Ray Lewis has that antagonistic bone in him, right? See, why Prime stays relevant and alive, because he knows how to poke the bear in those press conferences. Ray Lewis is awesome by all stretch of the imagination. But Coach Prime will sit up there and talk. He gonna talk trash to the reporter. I'm not saying Ray won't. I don't know if he is. When Prime goes up and say, "What part of me makes me think that you care about me," or whatever he said. Like,
my fault, coach. My fault.
You good, baby. So when it comes to Prime, that's the showmanship within the game that I don't think anybody has. I don't think anybody else has that so far as coaching. Now, here's what I will say. Somebody brought his name up. There you go, Crime and Punishment. I just saw it. I think Ocho Cinco has that, but he still doesn't have that audience. Maybe not. I don't know. He was on some reality shows. But I don't know if Ray Lewis is going to be, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if Ray Lewis, not saying he won't be a good coach, but I don't think he has that prime piece in him. If y'all know what I'm saying. Y'all know what I'm saying. The showmanship part of it. Not the speeches, not the intellect. He's got all that. But y'all know Prime got that showman, that he wear that top hat. He the ringmaster. So Kenson, it's not the it factor. I know what you're saying. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's not the it factor. Ray has the it factor, but it's that. Does he have that make you want to come back for more? Not just for the speeches, but you don't know what the hell Prime gonna do next. You see what I'm saying? I hate to make this comparison, but just follow me. I'm finna get in trouble, but it is what it is. It's almost like that Donald Trump stuff with you don't know what this dude gonna do next. What he gonna say next? What in the world gonna come out his mouth next? So you gotta watch because it is entertaining. Like when the dude say, "Look at my African American over there," huh? He ain't just say that, did he? Like, you get where I'm going with this shot?
Yeah, you may not always like it, but it always brings you back.
It's gonna bring you back. It's that part, right? I'm making that compare. I ain't talking about politics. I'm gonna get into politics. I'm just saying you hanging on because you don't know what this dude gonna say next, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad comparison. And when I say you don't know what he's gonna say next, not meaning he's gonna say something bad or stupid or smart. You just don't know. You just don't know.
Like Ocho got that showmanship, but the only thing that would probably benefit him is he's starting to be introduced to a new type of audience when he started being on Nightcap with Shannon Sharp. Because, Ocho Cinco was known like through the football community because he was just like, he would always perform and he didn't know what he was going to do. But now that he's on a podcast with, Sharp and he's now introduced to a whole new crop of people, I think in a year or two, I think he could bring that type of attention to a school that he goes to.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I think, but here's not a problem. But here's the real problem. Do people believe that Ocho Cinco is going to take the job that serious? See, therein lies the problem. Yeah. Even Prime told him, man, you ain't ready for this, man. Remember we went on go Prime, man, give me a job. Man, you ain't ready for this, man. Man, you ain't ready for that.
Yeah, I think Ocho, like, he probably needs to test out high school just to start off. Just to start off, man. Like, I don't think he's the type of person to just jump straight into college. You know, I don't think he's, and this ain't no shot at him, but I don't think he's mentally mature enough to start coaching college.
Mentally mature? Man, Ocho got to be about 45, 46, somewhere in there.
That don't matter. That don't care. Hey, listen, that don't matter.
That's tough work, man. Hold on. Let me get this dono out. FPSD for the $5. Appreciate it. Says not many or if any starting coaching from youth like Prime when it comes to former NFL players. Correct. There's a lot of guys who are coaching maybe some high school ball. Like, here's a perfect example. What's my man? Hell, we saw him skip the line and nobody talks about him. I forgot his name. Trent Dilfer. Trent Dilfer was coaching high school, right? And became the head coach at UAB.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? So hold on. I'm about to get upset. Trent Dilfer went from high school. Let me pull up his stuff, make sure I'm accurate. I like to be accurate. Trent Dilfer went from was it Trent Dilfer? Yeah.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer went to UAB.
Yeah, Trent Dilfer. Watch this. Again, I don't know what he was doing prior to. His last time playing was in 2007 with the 49ers. In 2019, he was the head coach from 2019 to 2022, the head coach of Lipscomb Academy in Tennessee. In 23 to currently, right now, he's the head coach at UAB. His overall college record is 8-16. 8-16.
Yeah, because name the last time you watched a UAB game.
It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, name the last time you watched the Bowling Green game.
I'm up in the Midwest. They just on TV, coach. So there ain't nothing on. It'll pop up. So
you're right. Well, we played UAB. You know, Miami played UAB not long ago. But anyhow, I'm just saying that's a guy that skipped the line, and he didn't get any flack, and he wasn't doing any coaching. But he's not Deion Sanders. There's the perfect example of exactly what we're talking about. Because he's not Deion, he doesn't bring all of that with him. He could go from high school to UAB. And nobody mad at Trent Dilfer for skipping the line. So.
Well, nobody really cares.
There you go.
I think that's your point, right? Like, he's not Deion. Exactly. Nobody cares.
He's not Deion.
Trent could have 2 more losing seasons and still be the head coach, and nobody would even care because nobody really watches.
Crime and punishment. Antonio Brown would be the most controversial hire ever.
What?
Hey.
Of course.
Y'all don't know. I coached Antonio. Matter of fact, I got his picture up here somewhere. I think that's it right here. Bro, them practices be loose. That's all I'm going to tell you. Them practices going to be loose.
Hey, Coach, you already talked about the Stephen A. and LeBron situation?
Yeah, I was talking about it. I just said this quickly since nobody calling in, but I did say this quickly about it. You know, Stephen A., you know, whether he was talking about, this is just my quick summary of it, and you tell me what you think. Even though he may not have been talking about Bronny and he was talking about LeBron, whatever. But I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back where he got just tired of it. Then you brought my son into this. Now Papa Bear got to step up. But here's my issue. I said this before. If Coach Hayes did something publicly, like say I was on here at Shottown and I said something about you, I mean, I like it, but I'm not mad if you address it publicly. I would never be like, man, Shot, you got my number. You could have called me. but I addressed you publicly. So therefore, you have the right to address me publicly. That's just me. So when LeBron addressed him at the game, Stephen A. Smith be doing all that talking. I don't care, all that talking. And he stood there and he said himself, I stood, okay, all right, okay. And he sat back down. When he could have been talking that tough talk and he didn't. And that's just my thing. What's your thoughts on it? Hold up. I'm sorry. Let me add part 2 to that. And people are now telling me when he went on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, now he back talking greasy again.
Yeah, he did fine for about 8 minutes. And then at the 8-minute mark, his ass just went, sorry for cursing, he just went completely left. And I'm like, all right, now your whole point just went mute. So, but to be honest, like, I get it. Like, if Stephen A. would have just said he addressed me as a father, but nothing else, then I think people would have been like, all right. But at the same time, you put your son in that situation. Now, I don't like it. Like, I've seen a lot of people critique Bronny and everything, and I don't know exactly what Stephen A. said that, made LeBron flip that switch.
Mm-hmm.
But you made I think one of the biggest brands in, I think, the world, the Lakers organization, draft your son. And then even if he's not ready, you made them bring him up when he wasn't ready. And I think we're all seeing that he's not ready.
Okay.
And it's public knowledge that it's you. It's not the coaches making that decision. It's not the owners making that decision. Whatever leverage you might have on that organization, you're using it to get your son to be able to play with you for maybe his last year. And I get it. Because I think if we were all in that situation, I think a part of us would be like, hey, that would be really cool to play a professional sport with my son. But you put your son in a no-win situation. Now, I don't agree with Stephen A. saying what he said about Bronny. Like, I don't agree with that. But you can't be mad at analysts and everything doing their job and seeing what your son is, which is an average basketball player. Not even. Like, I think everybody's saying that Bronny ain't ready, and he's only up there because you're his dad. And now what you've also done is people already think that you only got that position because LeBron's your dad, and now you got your dad fighting your battles publicly, and you're not addressing nothing.
Okay.
I think you kind of putting your son in a very awkward situation. I don't think it's going to work out, because for right now, every player or people is just looking at everything you got is because your dad is who he is, and you haven't done nothing. You have one good G League game, and after that, you haven't been doing nothing. So, and daddy got to fight your battles now in the public eye.
Right, but to your point,
nothing. You haven't said nothing.
Right, but to your point, and actually to KMS, shout out to KMS in the building. That's Stephen A's job. Again, I actually don't even care what Stephen A said. I was just talking about addressing it. And all I'm saying is, I really don't even know what Stephen A said. I know he started talking about averaging points and blah, blah, blah. And to your point, his whole thing was about, well, because you wanted him to come, so forth and so on. Whatever. My whole thing is, Stephen A, you talk tough behind your microphone misfit. You get behind the microphone, you old keyboard killer around here. And when that 6'8" dude walked up on you, yes, sir. Yes, I didn't mean it, sir. And then when you go on the podcast, now you greasy again. See, that's my issue. I'm not saying they should be in a fight. I'm not saying that whatsoever. What I'm saying is, as a man, if you stand behind what you said, all you have to do is say, Bron, if you don't like what I said, it's my job. Right? And I don't care that you in the game. You decided to come over here during the game and talk to me. So I'm going to talk to you. If I'm going to stand up, man, keep my son name. Look here, bro. I was talking about you, not your son. See, you could have had those same words that you tried to tell the world when you could have said it right then. I don't care LeBron playing the game. He decided to come see me. So you decided to come see me. I'm just saying, look, bro, I said what I had to say. This is my job. And I was actually addressing you. But he said out his own mouth, okay. And then he get on the microphone. And then you're going to talk greasy again about, now you're going to say, I didn't care what he said. Man, get out of here, man.
No, for sure. Like, if you really going to stand on business on your platform, at least stand on business in book. Okay, that I could agree with.
That's all I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying what Stephen A said was right or wrong. I don't know. And to be honest, Coach Hayes really don't care. But if you said what you said in a public forum and you get addressed in a public forum, then stand on the public forum. But this whole thing about, well, he could have called me. No, he didn't have to call you. Charlamagne, I don't agree with a lot of things Charlamagne say. But I agree with this. You can't get mad at how people react.
For sure.
If Mario Cristobal, if Coach Prime, Bucky, or whoever, they may not like what I say on here. Shiloh, Shador, whoever. I don't have any ill intent towards them. I really don't. I call the balls and strikes like I see it. Pause moment. I don't know. But what I do is I call it like I see it. How I see it.
Yeah.
And if they call it, and if they call, never would I say, let's just say one of them decided to go onto another platform and say something about Coach Hayes. I can't be mad. What I'm gonna say, man, they could have DM'd me. They ain't had to talk about me like that. No, because I come on here publicly and talk about them. I may not agree. I may not like what they've had to say. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, imagine now here's my problem. If Deion Sanders would have texted me or DM'd me something about what I said, and then I come back out, yeah, Deion texted me and this is what he said. I'm gonna show y'all, and then I'm wrong, bro. I'm wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like I feel like it, but to be honest, bro, if Stephen A let LeBron address him publicly and then he said, hey, listen, we have words and you know what, we just gonna move on, then people would be looking at, no, like you gotta speak on it now. So it's basically like, what do you want from it? You know what I'm saying? Like if he's gonna talk greasy when he's behind the camera, then you know what, that's just him not standing on business. And I feel like we could all agree that, you know, he's got to be able to stand on what he said. And if somebody doesn't like what he said, then, you know, just move on. But the fact that you're going to go on every podcast and every interview you're going to do, you're going to bring it up now?
And it's back to why I tell people, everything for everybody ain't entertainment, dog. Now, to LeBron, your son is is a public figure now. He's going to be ridiculed. He's going to be praised. He's going to be talked about. He's going to be trashed. He's going to be this. All of these things are going to happen. He knows that. But I think, like I said, it's the straw that broke the camel's back in regards to all of that stuff just piling up with Stephen A. Just like I brought up about Chris Bosh when Skip Bayless called him Bosh Spice. He like, bro, I asked you not to do that. That's my name. If you want to talk about my game, you're more than welcome. But now when you take the personal attacks, now I got to take it personal. You know what I'm saying?
Do you also think people are kind of trashing LeBron because there's a whole bunch of other media people that are talking trash, and they haven't seen him go out to any of them? It was just Stephen A. Do you think he was just the first person that LeBron had his eyes set on, or what do you think?
Oh, do me a favor, say that again. You said there's a bunch of other media people doing what now?
Like a bunch of media personalities were talking trash about his son, right? You have like Colin Cowherd, a whole bunch of other people.
Okay.
Do you think that people are talking trash about LeBron because he picked Stephen A., one of the few African American sports people, that he felt that he had a reason to go talk trash to him? Or do you think it's just because, you know, he was just the first one that he saw and that was the first opportunity he saw?
I'm going to just go with the latter. I'm going to go with the latter and say, guess what? Hey, I don't know if Colin Cowherd goes to Laker games, but
for sure.
I don't know if he does or doesn't. But I think Stephen A. opportunity was there, and he took it. And I think Stephen A. may have been the latest. Hold on, I think I got Butterfly on the line. But hold on one second. Butterfly, I'm coming to you. I just simply say this. Now the phone. I'm about ready to get off. Now the phone line's jumping. Got Neckbone on the line. Give me a second, y'all. But I'll just say this kind of in conclusion, shot, so I can get them on.
Yeah.
I just think it's at that moment. I hate to say this. Was it calculated by LeBron? If I see Stephen A is gonna be on site, maybe. But I'm not even talking about LeBron. I'm talking about Stephen A. Because here's what I will tell you. I guess I'm the media now. As a media personality, I guess if that's accurate, I have to be able to stand behind what I say behind this microphone. Again, we're not talking about fighting. We're talking about if I have a stance on something and someone addresses me about it, then I should be able to stand on that. Right? That's all.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and then when he leaves, now you back there talking trash again. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. That's all I'm saying. Yep. That's crazy to me.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Like literally, if Coach Prime called in or came on this show right now, I would say the same things. Again, nothing of malice. If Shiloh came, if Shador came, if anybody, I would say the same things. Not because I'm trying to be tough, but I told you what I believed and I still believe it. Because it's through my lens. That's it. If Coach Prime came on this show right now and said, "Hey, Coach Hayes, look here, baby. Why you said we going 6-6 this year?" Well, Coach, this is why I say you went 6-6. One, I said the offensive line, newness, and injury. Those were the three worries and concern. Offensive line, the newness was a lot of new players, all new coaches, and who gets hurt. That's why I said 6-6. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah,
because that does make sense. Because like if you really feel that strongly about your opinion, then you should be able to stand on your opinion. Stop it.
Or you should not have said it. It's just that simple. or you truly don't believe it, and now you're out here doing things. I believe you can be truthful and entertaining at the same time. I don't have to lie or embellish to be entertaining. I think that's the problem with people. People feel like you got to go overboard in order to be entertaining when you don't have to do that. Why don't you just be entertaining with the information that you believe? Maybe I'm wrong with that. But Shy, I love you, man. Appreciate you, dog. Happy New Year to you. Be safe out here. I know it's March, but we're going to get this thing. We back rocking the road.
All right, for sure, Coach. Hey,
sure.
Hey, and these Kane spring practice coming up, Coach.
It's already coming, man. See you, brother. Canes talk tomorrow, baby. Yes, sir.
All right, for sure.
Shottown Kane in the building. We're going to Butterfly 88 because she fly on them keys. Log out. Talk to us, Butterfly. What's up?
Hi, Coach. How are you?
Ooh, I'm excited. I'm all right. Happy New Year to you. I haven't talked to you.
Merry New Year. I know. I haven't talked to you forever. I won't take your time. I was just calling because I know you miss my voice. And I miss you too. I've been super busy.
I know. You guys are getting busy, getting ready to play Colorado for the first game of the season. Georgia Tech, that is, right?
Really? I'm out of the loop. I am like, when I tell you, I am like deep in work, and like I just moved too. So like I am just like, I don't know. I'm just underground. So okay. I'm just
you still in the same area? You still in the same area, or you moved totally different state or something?
No, I'm still in Georgia. I was in Metro Atlanta, but now I'm back in my city. So I had to be back around the building. So I'm like downtown Atlanta now.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, I don't know if my son likes that since he's right at Georgia Tech, but yeah.
Hey, is that the SWAT? Is that what they call the SWAT, Southwest Atlanta?
It's different areas. The part I grew up on Simpson Road. I grew up Zone 1, Bankhead, all that. So, but no, I'm not in that area. And, it's changed. Gentrification is real in the city now.
Man, only thing I know about it, I can refer to it just because, shout out to Outkast, on Headland and Delow. You know what I mean? Talk to me. Anyway.
No, Killer Mike we went to the same high school. Not at the same time. He's older than me, but he went to Frederick Douglass. So that's the high school I went to.
All right. Well, shout out to you. So what's on your mind, Butterfly?
Huh?
What's on your mind, Butterfly?
No, I've been catching some of your shows, but I've been in and out. So, like, what were you saying about Stephen A? I'm like, I was trying to follow along in the comments, and then you were saying if someone comes on your show, then I heard you talking about Charlemagne the God. Like, are you catching flack, or is just something happening?
Oh, nah, Coach always catch flack. But really quick breakdown. Stephen A. Smith said something in regards to LeBron James' son. Really, he was talking about LeBron and this, that, and the third. LeBron confronted him at a Lakers game a couple days ago about what was said. And Stephen A. came on and he had to he said he wasn't going to talk about it. But of course, I have bosses too. So the people at ESPN say you got to talk about it, blah, blah, blah. So he brings up the whole thing and he's talking about the encounter. And he was kind of saying, okay. And he said that LeBron wasn't approaching me as a basketball player. He was approaching me as a father. Right? I get all of that. I think my thing about Stephen A. that I didn't like was you talk tough behind the mic. The guy comes up to you. Then all you had to do was say, hey, LeBron, you may not like what I said, but it's my job. This is my business. And this is what I believe.
Right.
If not, I would not have said it. But instead, he said, I was there. I just said, okay. Then I'm just finding out this actually right now as we're live, that now he goes on a Gilbert Arenas podcast and now we're talking greasy about the situation. Like, man, I don't even care about that. So I'm like, come on, bro. Like, to me, that's cowardly, first of all, right? That's cowardly, in my opinion. And my whole thing was, if I said something publicly, I don't have a problem with somebody addressing it publicly. And I think that's probably where you came in. So if I said something about Butterfly on this channel, and you were on another channel and you said, man, Hayes said da. I can't be like, man, Butterfly got my number. She could have called me. Why she had to do that? But now, if we had a private conversation and you go out and address it, then I have an issue because it was a private conversation, or vice versa. That's just where I am.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, and you can't say anything about me because I'll whoop you in race car driving any day, Coach Hayes. But yeah.
You probably will. Listen, I am straight grandma. I do a school zone. I do 14 in the 15, and I do 69 in the 70. Watch out now. Be careful. Coach will get you.
Well, it was good catching up with you. Have a great night.
Go Speed Racer. Go Speed Racer. Go.
Bye.
See you. Have a good one.
Hey.
Bye. All right, shout out to Butterfly. Neckbone, you up on the line. Y'all let me know if y'all caught that one too. Coach, quick now. I'm trying to tell you. I might run a 4 ever in the 40, but I run a 4-1 in the mine. I'm telling you, I'm quick. Y'all didn't even catch that. Hey! Man. Y'all ain't catch that. Anyway, Neckbone, you're going to be the last caller tonight. Let me lock it in.
The conference has been locked.
Real quick before I bring Neckbone in, I had this up here forever before I be done with it. I add this to the stage right now. Watch this. Y'all check this out. That's hilarious, bro. That's hilarious. Neckbone in the building. Talk to me. What's up with you, baby?
Look out, what you know about the Everybody Hates Chris?
Come on, man. What you talking about? You probably was still eating Cheerios in a high top chair when that thing came out, man. Stop it, man.
Man, I'm calling to talk about this content you got tonight, this fire gumbo you got, as my boy Bishop would say.
Shout out to Bishop in the building.
You got your boy DY, you got your boy George and Willie Simmons and Mike Vick and you know the GOAT, Deion Sanders, man.
Yeah.
You know, Coach Hayes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm proud of you, man.
I appreciate that.
Because I've been watching you for a long time.
Okay.
And one thing I will say about Coach Hayes is going to come up here. He's going to let his people speak. He's going to have some good content. And I can rock with you, Coach Hayes. You don't pick no sides. You just call it right down the middle.
I appreciate that, man.
But I was saying, though, I'm really excited to see what Mike Vick and Eddie George going to do, man. I kind of know what Deion going to do this year. Willie Simmons, that'll be interesting. Deshaun Watson, I didn't see that coming, but I don't even know. Like, is that in the MEAC, the team that Deshaun Jackson going to and Mike Vick?
Yeah, MEAC. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if they win their division, it's a chance that they could play TC Taylor if they win the SWAC next year.
That's correct.
This coming up year.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
Ooh. And I will say this because I heard somebody say something about Ray Lewis. I had talked to my buddy Scotty a couple months back, and he told me the reason Ray Lewis couldn't get a job because he outbidded himself when it came to offering him the job. He wanted too much money. What are your thoughts on that, Coach Hayes?
Well, you got to know your worth, right? He feels he's worth X amount of dollars. Don't take less. See, here's the difference. When you're a person that don't need it and you want it, you move different. I tell people that all the time. If I want something, it's different than I need something, right? If I want a job, right? If I want a job, then I'll go in and say, hey, I'll do this job for X amount of dollars. And they come back, of course, negotiations, how they are. And they say, okay, but we could do it for this much. No, because I'm worth this much. It's just that simple. It's just, at the end of the day, it's just that simple. So sometimes you got to remember, he's not starving. He's actually giving himself more of a headache becoming a head coach than doing whatever he's doing right now every day. So if I'm going to do this job,
headache though, Coach Hayes, because I would feel like everybody would agree that Ray Lewis is a passionate brother when it comes down to football. My thing would be like, dude, if you're going in there and the first two jobs they offer you and you get the job and you're good at doing the interviews, why don't you get your agent together, calculate the numbers, and you can see how much the school has. You just can't. I don't know the numbers, but if he outbidding himself for a G5 job when he already outbidded himself for HBCU jobs, what does he think is going to come next?
So I'll just say this, right? You get what you negotiate. I tell people that. And sometimes you outbid yourself. But what you don't want to do is underbid yourself. I'm not saying, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. I understand that. But they are in a leverage game. They have the leverage. Again, Ray Lewis doesn't need this job. He may want that job, right? Here's another thing. He may have done the calculations.
I don't need to cut you off, and I'm going to let you finish your point. But wouldn't you say the same thing for D-Wad and Mike Vick? D-Wad just got done playing in the league. He don't need it. As a matter of fact, I feel like he's taking the Coach Prime effect when he's using his money out of pocket possibly to help get some of these players in.
Well, now you're talking about, but I agree, but now you're talking about what other people are willing to do. There are some people that are not willing to come out of their pocket for corporations, right? It's just what it is. It's some people at your job or other jobs, they're going to mark down when they go on a trip.
I'm saying Ray Lewis won't do it now because he possibly.
No, I know, I know, but I'm just taking. I know, but I'm just taking both avenues. There are some people at your job when y'all go on business trips or whatever, they gonna mark down every little thing so the job could pay them back. And there's some people they go eat dinner and won't even put that on the bill. It's just what it is. Everybody's a little bit different, right? Can I knock you for that? No, I don't knock you for that. But Ray Lewis also, maybe to his credit, Ray Lewis say, I ain't tackle all them damn people, go through all those OTAs, get all these concussions to give my money to an institution. You get what I'm saying? Maybe that's just his mindset. I'm just only speaking hypothetical here because I don't know Ray Lewis's mindset. I'm just trying to say what two people did. On the other hand, we also don't know where people's monies are tied up. Ray Lewis' monies may be tied up in other business ventures where he doesn't have free reign offering because he's already tied up with other funds. You know what I mean? It's easy for us to kind of money one quarterback and sit back and say, he got money. But a lot of these guys' money be tied up. You don't just have money in the bank, just chilling. Your money is somewhere making money for you, in essence. I'll just say that. And then my second thing is, if Ray Lewis feels like this is what he's worth and doesn't want to budge, then that's just what it is. It's just like, here's a perfect example. Coach Cristobal came to Miami. He wanted $80 million for 10 years. If they weren't going to do that, then he would have stayed at Oregon. And what happened? He wanted to come to Miami. He didn't need to come to Miami. There's the difference. And they paid him. Just what it is. Now,
Coach Hayes, who do you think is a good head coach hire for that Tennessee State job now that Eddie George is gone?
Coach Hayes.
Okay. You willing to step back in and Coach Hayes?
Nah. I need the Ray Lewis numbers.
Man, come on, man. Come on,
Coach Hayes. I'm just playing, man. On a serious note, I don't know what's out there. I don't know who's out there. Maybe because I'm in the coaching world, I don't mind them. I just, for lack of a better term, call it celebrity coaching. But I do want guys who have been in the ranks to get their opportunity. So I hope maybe a guy like, say, TC Taylor, who is kind of in the ranks and worked their way through. I hope somebody there gets an opportunity. Maybe they can hire from within. I don't know, because they had a good thing going. So hopefully they hire from within. I don't know how that works. But I can't give you a name, Neckbone, like, person
I got
X.
a name, Coach.
All right, talk to me.
Coach KJ Black. Coach who used to coach for PV.
Okay. I don't know him, but cool. I'm with it.
I don't know if Charlie Strong will be willing. Kevin Sumler.
They're not going to do it. You know whether I don't think they'll do it. And again, I'm just talking because we saw Marvin Lewis do it. But some of these guys, and I think Tennessee State itself as an institution is having some woes right now. And I think that's part of why Eddie George kind of moved on. They're having some financial issues right now. I don't know if this has happened yet, but I know at one time the state of Tennessee owed them like $500 million, and they've been fighting to try to get that. They're having a lot of financial issues. Why that is, I don't know. I don't know if people stealing, they're not getting their money, they're not getting the federal fund. I don't know. I don't claim to know. But I know that they were having some financial issues. So with that being said, remember, every job is not a good job. I always tell people that. It may look great on the surface, but every job is not a good job.
But if that's it, Coach Hayes, man, I appreciate you for your time, man. I'm just calling in, talking to you, doing what we usually do.
All right, real quick, Nick, I want to ask you this. What do you think about that? Do you think, on the topic side, do you believe that these guys being hired are a direct effect of the prime effect?
Of course. Yes, sir. I sure do.
Now, okay,
I
go ahead.
feel like they would have hit it a little bit earlier, but at the same time, the process is going through. Like you said, you got D. White, you got Mike Vick, you got Eddie, you got Willie Simmons. Hopefully it'll be more, but I definitely agree that it's a cause of the prime effect happening. Yes, sir.
Do you believe out of those four coaches, because like I said, Willie Simmons was already in the coaching world, do you believe Eddie George, Deshaun Jackson, and Michael Vick become coaches if prime never touched college football? Become college coaches at in any facet, position coach, whatever. Do you think they get into this profession without Coach Prime being in college football?
I think Deion was a big part of it, but you never know what these guys have going on behind the scenes. You don't know what, I don't like to use God, but you don't know what God had planned for him. So, I mean, I feel like he was a big part of it, but to just go and say they wouldn't have been coaching because of Deion Sanders, I wouldn't say that, because you never know what people have going on. I don't think people probably know how many jobs that Ray Lewis himself probably applied for, and people don't know that he applied for them until they all see him get hired, and then all of a sudden we don't see about it no more. So you don't know what coaches have going on behind the scenes, but I do agree it's a big part of Deion on these guys getting the jobs and them guys being motivated to do it a certain way. I feel like Deshaun Jackson, he promoting his team on Instagram. I seen the way the Coach Prime used to do with the videos and stuff. So even some Big 12 teams, you see them doing what Deion and Will Off doing. So I feel like it's a good start. But I do want to see more guys come out, whether celebrity coaches, old NFL players. That'll be a good scene, especially for HBCU program.
Of course.
You know, we can't always get that job, you know, at a big power program before proving ourselves.
Of course.
Hopefully that's a good landing spot for Ed Reed if he do good at the high school ranks.
Yeah. Real quick question. So you're saying that you believe, I'm asking, so you're saying that you believe Prime and the Well Off Media started that kind of inside look into the programs in college?
I don't think they did. It was a lot of stuff going on, but they made it popular. They stamped it the way to do it. So don't be surprised if you see some NFL teams having all access media, i.e. Let's just see Bill Belichick. I feel like he finna start. Didn't they say he was having a documentary finna come out?
No, it was word. It was word that Hard Knocks was having a hard time finding an NFL team, so they I believe they reached out to UNC to do Hard Knocks on the college level, but they couldn't come. They couldn't come to an agreement. I'll say what I said earlier, Nick. Well, I don't know if you were listening, but like I said, there are a lot of teams that have been doing the Well Off Media type thing. They just don't have the popularity because they don't have the Coach Prime. They don't. But like I say, I can only speak for Miami. I know the other program. Like we had one called Kane's All Access that used to do it. You know, they did it and all those kind of things. So to your point, Prime did make it more popular because he brought a different flair and a lot more people who were just getting into college football or just watching it again for the first time or all of those different things. They saw this for the first time, so therefore they thought this was the first time it had ever been done. But got to give Prime his credit that he did make it popular because he's popular in that sense. So, but yeah, but there are a lot of teams that do that kind of stuff, man. What I was going to say, my last question. Let the people know where they can find you, man. Come on, King. Come on, King.
No, Coach. Not tonight, man. I appreciate you, LMV, and really flawed for that. But when I come to talk to my boy, man, I come to talk to my boy about sports and his topics, man. Well, I feel like y'all did more than enough for me. I come up here, I come to talk to you, Coach Hayes. That stuff, man, it is what it is. But I just want to say I'm thankful for what you didn't already done for me, man. But I come up here to talk. I don't come up here to promote my channel, man.
But you didn't come up here to promote your channel. I asked you to. So I'm going to slap your face again. Let the people know where they can find you, man.
All right, man. It's Trey, TRAY 601, Neckbones Takes. Y'all want to come and grill and drink a couple beers and talk some sports, man, you willing to pull it up. We break down all the topics the best way we can. Everybody's welcome. The ladies, grandma, auntie, everybody's welcome, man. Salute to Coach Hayes, man. I'm proud of you, Coach Hayes. Keep doing your thing, man.
I will. Now take this on the way out. Get your behind out of here, man. Much love, Neckbone.
Lord.
Peace. Shout out to Neckbone in the building. LMV done already threw it up in the chat. There you go. This man say, no, man, all right. What is
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
The hell wrong with you? Anyway, I want to address this. I know I had right here. Oh, beloved sandworm, before I get up out of here. I'm not saying I know because I don't, but I heard that their money is looking funny, Coach Hayes. If you're going to quote me correctly, beloved sandworm, or is it beloved and worm? That's not what I said. I said, I don't know how they have money troubles, but they have money troubles. I don't know if it was stealing or misappropriation of funds. I don't know. You know, I don't know why I do this to myself, but it's something about interacting with people like this. It just make me, it fire me up. Oh, it fire me up. I ain't had nobody in the kitchen in a long time. I need some people in the kitchen. Who coming to the kitchen? Need somebody in the kitchen. But anyway, let me get up out of here, man. I'd appreciate it. Again, plan on doing an hour. As always, Coach Hayes gonna lie to you. We've been on here an hour and 47 minutes. I appreciate it. You've been rocking with me. Had a couple of phone calls in the building. We had my man Shottown Kane. We had Butterfly 88 because she fly up on the keys, as well as we had my man Neckbone in the building. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. Those WREs coming. We got them in the CAD. They being edited up. We're going to be dropping them like well-off media videos every day. Does that mean I did it first? No. I don't know. I'm stop being petty. I appreciate y'all. Much love to everybody. Y'all go ahead and hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Check us out, man, as we go to get this thing growing and popping off. Peace. Man, what in the gut? People around here tripping, man. $69 and a 70. Yes, sir. That's what we doing.